What's up, you guys? It's Miss Brothers. We are working on practice number 4, stoichiometric practice number 4. And this one is about moles and particles using Avogadro's number. So the first two we did were on molar mass and moles, using the periodic table to help us determine our masses. The second one was about moles and volume, where we were using the volume constant of 22.4 liters per mole. And in this one, we're just going to be using good old Avogadro's number, and we're using that ratio of 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd is the same as saying 1 mole of any type of particle, whatever that particle is, be it atoms of oxygen or Skittles. The other one that we could use is the equivalency, that ratio of 1 mole on top, and underneath it 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of anything. All right? So which one of these we use is going to depend on which section we're doing or what we're being asked for. So for instance, in this first section, these first 5 problems, you can kind of see those right there, we're being asked to calculate and find the number of moles in any or number of molecules in these number of moles of something. So if I have 2 moles of some type of particle, what I want to know is how many molecules of that particle is that. So again, you guys, using my regular, dimensional analysis, using my T-chart, I'm going to put down 2.0 moles. I'm going to set that over 1. And the unit I'm trying to finish with is molecules. So I know molecules has to be up here on top. Molecules, which means that I'm going to use this ratio right here, because moles is going to be down here at the bottom, so that I can cancel moles here and I can cancel moles there. And you're like, well, what number do I fill in right here? Well, you fill in Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So again, you guys, we're going to run this just like we would any dimensional analysis type problem. We're going to cancel out these units here, which is going to leave us with a unit of molecules. So we're just going to put molecules right here, because that's going to be our ending unit. We got to do some math. We're going to use a calculator to go ahead and calculate this, because we have to take 2 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Now, the way I do these problems, you guys, I'm going to flip back and forth between these 2 calculators right here so that you can see me work the problems on one or the other. So for this first problem, we're going to use the 30XA, and we're going to type in 2.0. I'm going to use my EE button, which is right above the 7. EE. Oops, I didn't want to do that. Sorry about that. My bad. Do that again. 2.0 times, there we go, 6.02. Touch my EE button, and then type in 23, and then all I have to do is hit equals, and I end up getting this number, 1.204 times 10 to the 24th. And I'm just going to round that to my nearest hundredth here, so I'm going to put 1.20 times 10 to the 24th, and my unit is molecules. All right, let's do the next one. So I'll use my other calculator this time. So I've got 1.5 moles. I'm going to set that over 1. I know that I'm trying to solve for molecules, so I'm going to put that up here. I know that I'm going to have my 1 mole down here, so I can do my canceling. And I know that my constant that I'm going to be using is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And now again, you guys, I'm going to have to go ahead and cancel out my unit here and my unit here. And now I have to do my multiplication of 1.5 times 6.0 times 10 to the 23rd. So let's do that. Oh, you know what? I was going to use the other calculator this time. Let's do it. Now, notice, you guys, again, that my calculator is already in scientific function, which is great, because that means I'm going to get my answer in scientific function as well. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 1.5 times, and I'm going to do 6.02, so 6.02. Now remember, you guys, on the 30x, I have to do the extra step of hitting the second button and then hitting the EE button. And once I do that, that little E is going to pop in. Now I can type in my exponent, which is to the 23rd, and that's going to equal, looks like 9.03 times 10 to the 23rd, and so that's what I'm going to write right here. 9.03 times 10 to the 23rd. And again, the unit I have left over, because I crossed these out, was molecules. Let's do one more, and let's go ahead and go back to my 30XA. I've got 0.75 moles. And I want to determine how many molecules that's going to be. And again, you guys, the unit molecules, it could be, we're using molecules for this example, but it could be atoms. It could be M&Ms. It could be molecules of water. It could be atoms of oxygen. These are all things that that this unit could be, and normally in a problem, that unit would be spelled out for you, okay? So we've got 0.75 moles. We're going to set that over 1. We're going to put 1 mole down here so that we can cancel. And just remembering that 1 mole of any substance is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And like I said, in this case, we're dealing specifically with the unit of molecules. We haven't been given a substance, so we're just sticking with molecules for right now. We're going to go through our processes of dimensional analysis. So that means we're going to cancel out moles here and here. And we're going to go ahead and do our multiplication across. So we're going to take 0.75, and we're going to multiply that by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So let's go ahead and do that on our calculator. So 0.75 times 6.02. And again, you guys, because I'm using the 30XA, I don't have to use my second button for this process. I can just tap the EE button and type in my exponent of 23, hit my equals button, and it's going to give me my answer of, and I'm going to go ahead and round this. Right now it says 4.515 times 10 to the 23rd, and I'm going to round that to 4.52 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. So you can see my process then for this first part where I'm going from moles to molecules. Now for this second half, and I'll do a couple of these, we're going to be going from essentially molecules to moles. And they don't put the unit here, but I'm going to put the unit when I do my problem because I think it's so important to be able to see those units. So we've got 6 point, again, we're looking for moles. They've given us molecules. So 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And again, you guys, I'm going to write molecules because I'm a stickler about units. I'm going to go ahead and set that over 1. Now this time, you guys, we're going to use the other formula. So we've got molecules here, which means we have to get molecules down here as well. So we're going to go 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. And we know that's the same as saying 1 mole. Now for this one, you guys, this one's actually really easy because if I look, this entire formula matches this entire formula. So I can literally cross out everything, and I'm left with 1 mole. So like I said, that one feels like it's cheating a little bit, okay? All right, let's do this next one. 1.204 times 10 to the 24th. And again, we're trying to find moles. I'm sorry, we have, so how many moles? We're trying to find the number of moles. So we've got molecules. Oops, I forgot to put molecules here. Molecules. There we go. And then over here, we're going to have 1 mole because that's what we're trying to solve for. And we've got 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules, because that's the type of particle we are dealing with. And now we can go ahead and start doing some of our canceling. We're going to cancel out molecules here. We'll cancel out molecules here. And now what we have to do is we're simply going to divide 1.204 times 10 to the 24th, divide that by 6.02, and we'll get our answer. So if we multiply across that, of course, we multiply across first and then do our division. But we're just going to cut to the end here. Now, this time, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and use the other type of calculator, the handy 30X, which is what many of you have. And just a quick reminder how to do that. So first, we're going to put in this one. It's going to be 1.204. And again, we have to do second and then that button right above the 7, the EE. We're putting in 24. And then we have to divide that by 6.02. Again, the same thing. Second, hit the EE button. And this one's going to be the 23rd. And in a perfect world, oh boy, I did something I shouldn't have. Let's do that again. This time with feeling. So I did 1.204 times 10 to the 24th divided by 6.02 second to the 23rd. And that equals, oh, that's so much better. Now, notice, you guys, it says 2 times 10 to the 0. That's another way of just simply saying 2.00 moles That's going to be your final answer there. Now, you guys, if we come up with, I would say reasonable numbers like 2, you don't have to put this into scientific notation, okay? So just know that if it's a number like this, I'm not looking for scientific notation. On the other hand, if it's a number like this, 4.52 times 10 to the 23rd, yes, I'm looking for scientific notation. Otherwise, you're going to have to end up writing 552 and 21 zeros. Nobody wants to see that. Well, at least I don't. All right, let's go ahead and do one more so that you've got a good feel for this second type of procedure where we're taking moles and we're trying to figure out the number of molecules. Okay, or we're taking molecules and figuring out the number of moles. So we've got 1.5 times 10 to the 20th molecules. And according to our instructions, we are trying to find the number of moles. We're going to set that over 1. We're going to set moles on top here because that's the unit we're trying to find. And then we're going to set down here 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. That's kind of hard to tell. That's a 3. And again, we go through our procedure. We've set it up. Now our next step is to cancel our units wherever we can. And now we're going to do our math. Of course, we would multiply across, and we would end up with 1.5 times 10 to the 20th over 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd, which means we've got to do some division. And if you want me to, you guys, I'll go ahead and write that out real quick just to make sure that we're all clear on the process. So I would multiply across, and so I would take 1.5 times 10 to the 20th times 1, which is another way of saying 1.5 times 10 to the 20th, and that's going to be moles. And of course, we would take 1 times 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. I don't have to worry about molecules because we canceled that unit. And so now we just have to do the math here. So, and again, you guys, I'll do this calculator one more time. Well, actually, no, we'll go to this one. We're coming back to our 30XA calculator, and we are going to type in 1.5. Now, again, you guys, you don't have to hit the second button on this one. We can just go straight to EE, which is right above the 7. You can see the little exponent spot that pops up, and so that's going to be to the 20th. And we are going to divide that by 6.02 EE to the 23rd equals, and in this case, it's going to be 0.0002, and we're going to round that up to a 5, 25 moles. Now, here's the fun thing about this one, is that this is still a fairly reasonable number, but if you wanted to put this number into scientific notation, you absolutely could. And if you're using this calculator, all you have to do is just go to the second button, and then hit the 5, and it's going to give you that one, and you would just round this to 2.50 times 10 right there to the negative 4th moles. So either way you write this answer, if you wanted to write 0.00025, you could, but you would also be correct if you wrote 2.50 times 10 to the negative 4th moles. So it's completely up to you how you write this. Now, there's going to be times on a quiz or a test where I might tell you to take a number like this and put it into scientific notation, and so you have to make sure you know how to do that on your calculator, okay? So just know that it's much easier to do with the 30XA than it is with the 30X, but it's still something that you can easily do, okay? And again, you guys, I did make a video earlier on scientific notation that takes you through the process of taking any answer and putting it into scientific notation on either of these calculators, okay? All right, well, that's it for today, you guys. If you have questions, let me know. Again, you guys, I have posted the key to this document that has the solutions for everything. And again, just wanted to take a minute to take you through the process on this for at least a few problems. All right, you guys, have a great day, and I will talk to you soon.